right, so I've really been dreading this the whole evening, so I've been pacing back and forth and trying to fill up on some whiskey, but I'll see if I can get through all this. So, first, I do want to, on behalf of Todd and Terry and Gina, myself, and of course Tanner and Lauren, thank everyone for coming out tonight and sharing in this joyous occasion. And I do have to apologize for being a little bit of an emotional wreck. For those of you that are at the ceremony, and I tried to keep it together, and I'm going to try to keep it together now. But it's tough. I think like any father standing there, walking down the aisle, and then looking at this beautiful woman, my baby girl, standing in front of the altar, but I have such beautiful, vivid pictures in my head of this little girl sitting in her high chair, the SpaghettiOs all over her face, and just a goofy grin, and she was just so damn cute. But you know, one of the things that she actually learned sitting in that high chair, one of the first phrases she could put together was actually, right now. You would ask her, you remember this? Yeah. Ask Lauren, she barely, could speak yet, but she knew right now. So, Lauren, you want a popsicle? Right now! And she would have everybody jumping. I mean, her 70-year-old great-grandmother would say, Lauren, honey, you want some juice? Right now! And Grams is like jumping out of her seat to try. You never saw somebody 70-year-old running so fast to get her juice. She needed it right now. But, she never lost that drive, that determination. I mean, she would think of something that she wanted or saw something she wanted. She would work hard and she would go get it. And that proved true throughout her life, and I'm sure will continue to. But even in school, I mean, she was equally as competitive academically as she was athletically. She would call home when the report cards would come and say, not what's my GPA or what were my grades, what's my class rank? Because that's how competitive she was. She wanted to know where she stood all the time. But she continued that drive, and I actually remember in the 8th grade, she was talking about colleges. And I'm like, college? You're being an 8th grader. Don't worry about college. And she's like, no, I want to know what college I should go to. I'm like, go whatever college you want to go to. I don't care. But she said, well, I want to go to the best college. Right now. So I'm like, honey, maybe Harvard, I guess. She goes, okay, well, I want to go to Harvard. You remember this? Yeah, well, I'm sure you can all understand how relieved Gina and I were when she decided to go to the Ivy League of the Midwest at Ball State University. So it was quite a whirlwind, though. I mean, here we're barely wiping the SpaghettiOs off her face and throwing out all the Barney tapes that she loved so much. And we're taking her to college. I mean, here's my beautiful 18-year-old little girl, pure as the driven snow, right, Joe, Kylie? Amen. All right. She's going off to college now. We dropped her off, and I'm not sure if all of you have heard the story, but Todd told the story of how Lauren and Tanner actually met. First time, it was several weeks after we had just dropped her off, and it was at the Ball State Fan Jam, where all the athletes, the football players and the volleyball players get together, and the other athletes to sign autographs for all the fans. Well, thankfully, Tanner's father shuffled them down the line of all the volleyball players and getting autographs to all of them. And then there was Lauren, and apparently they hit it off. And so this is completely unbeknownst to me, but thank you, Todd. I find out about it on social media. So I'm missing my daughter, and I go back, and I'm like any father does. I'm like, let me see what my daughter's doing. I get on Facebook. And so the first thing that I read on Facebook, I see this post from this guy named Tanner. And he says, what's your favorite position? like, wait, what did I just read? So, to his credit, he actually, in parentheses, followed it up by saying, I meant in football, get your mind out of the gutter. So, I'm like, okay, this guy has got no game. All right, so I have nothing to worry about here. I'll just keep moving. I got a good chuckle out of it, but didn't think a whole lot of it. Until probably a month later, and Lauren calls me to give me an update of everything that's going on at school, grades and volleyball. And she says, well, I met a guy. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, he's pretty nice, and he plays football, because she knew I'd like that. And he's a quarterback, which I would like as well. I'm like, oh, okay. His name's Tanner. I'm like, okay, rings a bell. So I'm like, I gotta find out some more stuff about this Tanner guy. And luckily for me, I get on Tanner's Facebook page. I already know that he's got to be smart. I mean, he's getting his master's. He's quarterback of the football team. He's got to have his shit together, right? So, luckily, about 6 months prior to this, Tanner actually posted on Facebook the top 25 things you should know about me. You remember posting this? I've never talked to you about this, but do you remember that, Tanner? Uh-huh. So let me share some of the insights real quick. So I'm like, thank God for this guy, because I'm trying to figure out who's dating my daughter, and he's laying it all out for me, okay? So I open up the list, and one of the first things I come to is, you remember this list? Anyone who has ever been bitten by a vampire is an idiot. Top 25 things you should know about me. This is all right. Right. I mean, yeah, there might be some truth to that. Probably not real Mensa worthy, but so I'm like, all right, let me give him a chance. The next thing I read, he said, I wish those jeans with zippers in the butt would come back. Girls' butts looked awesome in those, but man, it had to be inconvenient to have not have pockets.
That's a good point.
It is a good point. And we all know how fashion forward Tanner is. So, still I'm not getting the picture, okay? So I'm reading on again and I see mosquitoes are idiots. I'm like, I mean, he's a deep thinker. But he, you know what, he did, in fairness, he actually said some very nice things. He actually spoke very kindly of Teal and spoke of Teal being a saint. And but there was one thing that caught my eye. It was number 25. You remember? Yeah, so number 25, Tanner said, the next girlfriend I have will be my wife. And that came true today. Tanner, you have unabashedly stolen our hearts. My family clamors over each other to see you when you come to visit. And you selflessly give your time to anybody that comes up to talk to you. But more importantly, it's so clear to me that you love my daughter and you respect her. And you treat her as well as any father could ever hope to have their daughter treated. And for that, I thank you. And I've told you before, but I'll tell you again, I love you. And I welcome you to our family. As dysfunctional as we all may be. And Lauren, my baby girl, I am so proud of you. You are such a wonderful daughter, a remarkable woman, an amazing friend. And I feel so blessed to be able to say that. I sometimes sit in awe thinking of how much you guys can accomplish together. And it makes me very proud to see you here together today. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, please raise a glass with me and toast to Lauren and Tanner. And may all your dreams come true. May your may the beautiful individuals that you are never be lost in your time together. May God continue to bless you with health, wealth, and prosperity. I love you. Cheers.
Please, Sean, let's give a big round of applause, please. What a wonderful toast. Good job, David.